Good evening. I'd like to go over how your final course grades were calculated. We're going to work off of the spreadsheet that you see on the screen. It's pretty straightforward. If you remember from the syllabus or Blackboard under course information, your grade was divided into three parts. Homework, which you see represented here in the yellowish area. The two exams, which you see represented here in the green area, and your quizzes, which you see represented over here in this sort of burnt orange area. Okay, so the three parts of your grade. So it's pretty straightforward. You have your scores, which then would be totaled here in this column M. That would be reflective of the scores that you got. The total possible for those homework assignments was 100. And so that's represented down here in M27, column M, row 27. So this is a straight percentage, your total divided by 100, or if you just want, you can just put a percentage after this number because anything divided by 100 is that percent. Pretty straightforward. The two exams are added together. That total is here in column P. You see up here it says exam total. If you remember, we took your score, curved it, adjusted it, and then posted it out of 100. And so you have a midterm and a final exam. Together, you have a total possible point out of 200. Okay. So again, this is pretty straightforward. If you took this number, divided it by 2, like this 153 here would be 76.5. That would be your percentage for your whole exam. And if you look at that, that looks about right. Down here, this 183 would be about a 91.5. Okay. Obviously, 0 divided by 200 is still 0. This 180 is 90. This 153 is about 76.5, etc. But anyway, bottom line is this is your exam total. You divide that by 2 to get your percentage. And then your quizzes out here, they're totaled likewise here in column U. And the total possible quiz points was 12. Okay, so now how does that all end up into a formula out here that calculates a final percentage? Well, you can't just add everything together and divide by the total because, again, according to the syllabus, your different parts of your grade are weighted differently. So your homework was 50% of your grade, your exams were 35% of your grade, and your quizzes here were 15% of your grade. That is represented here in this formula. So if we go through this systematically at the three parts, you have, and again, this is relevant to each row. So right now we're just going to use this first row as the example. Okay, so it's taking the score in M2, dividing it by the score in M27. That gives the percentage multiplied by 50%, 0.5. Adding that to your score in P2, which is your exam total, dividing it by the score in P27, which is 200 in this case, 2 times 100 scores, multiplying it by 35%. And finally, your quiz score total divided by the total possible, U2 divided by U27, and multiplying that by 15%. 50, 35, and 15% adds up to 100%. So this score here, that would be your percentage out of 100% of the course. Now, if you see this score right here, plus 0.0245, plus 0.0245. Reason that is tacked on is just because the same thing as in the exam, when we curved and then adjusted, I believe I told people if they ask, I think I might have thrown it in there anyway, even if they didn't ask. that at the end of the day, what I do is I look at the final grades across the course and make sure that whoever has the highest score has a middle A. And so right here is that 97%. That before I added that extra adjustment on was a 94.45. 94 point, I'm sorry, 0.55, 95.55. And that's why I added a 2.45% to everyone's grade. So as I click in these end columns here, you'll notice up here in this address line that regardless of where I click, you'll see that 0.0245 is added on. Okay, so that consequently everyone got that 2.5% bump roughly. So at the end of the day, then, this is your score as calculated by taking each of the three parts that you did, multiplying each of them by the percent that that part was worth, 50 for homework, 35 for exams, 15 for quizzes, adding it all together, and then adding 2.45% to it, and that's how you got this. Now, the reason these are red is because I also have in here a conditional formatting. I don't know if you ever used this feature in Excel, but it allows you to set a conditional formatting. So in this case, since in kinesiology, if you're a kines major and are taking this course, you must get a minimum grade of a C. Since I round grades up, or I round up grades, that's probably more grammatically correct, since I round up grades, that means the lowest grade you can get and still get a C in here is a 72.5%. So I put a conditional formatting on this column that if any score is below 72.45, it automatically puts it in red. And that way I can just real visually see quickly who did not get that minimum grade. Now, if you are just taking this course as an elective, I know some of you were because you needed 3 credits to graduate, you wanted an online course, you thought, take something simple. Well, hopefully you were up here in these better grades, but in the case of, let's take this lowest one right here, 61.73. That is a D minus, but according to university policy, it's a passing grade for purposes of getting credit. So if all you needed was the 3 credits and you're not a kines major and you're sitting here at 61.73, you still got the 3 credits. If you're sitting here at 44.95, you don't have the credits. Okay. Now I'm going to bump this spreadsheet over just a smidgen. So that first column, Y kinesiology, which was the first homework assignment, is going to bump off to the left, but you're going to see what the grade is because I use the same third grading that most places use. It's also on the syllabus. The bottom third, 70, 71, 72 is the minus. The top third, 77, 78, 79 is the plus. And the middle third, 73, 4, 5, 6 is the straight grade. So in the case of a C, that's what I was describing, the 70s. The B is the same thing. The D is the same thing. See the 62.8 rounded up to 63, which became a D instead of a D minus. This 71 rounded to, this 61 here rounded to 62, but that's still a D minus, so it didn't really matter. All right. So I am not going to post these grades until Monday afternoon, somewhere around 5 o'clock. Reason is I want to post this up, give people one last chance to question anything. I did not type any of these numbers in. I just download them, put them into the Excel spreadsheet, add the color and the formatting so that I can read it and it looks good. And other than that, it just comes out straight percentage. So hopefully all these numbers are correct. You have until Monday afternoon, 5 o'clock, to question anything. After that, I will post these grades I think my grades are due by midnight Monday. But anyway, so we're going to go Monday, 5 o'clock. So after you watch this, let me know if you have any questions. And after 5 o'clock Monday, these will go in. Okay? Hopefully you have a rest. Actually, Monday's the first day of August. Enjoy what time we have until we're back on campus, and hopefully the weather will clear up for you, and you'll have a wonderful couple weeks before school starts. Take care, and again, remember, get back in touch with me if you have any questions. All right, see you later.